Alrighty, yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis Rick here, back with some more DFO PvE on a new class on the channel. I'm doing this a lot right now recently. The Rogue, guys. Now, actually, this is actually would be kind of interesting to know for a lot of people, but I thought I hated this class initially. And after playing it up to this point, I think this is going to be one of those classes that I'm going to get to the max level, obviously, but it's actually a lot of fun, I gotta admit that. So, it really was a drag up until level 50 to level this character, I'm not gonna lie about that, but once I got my first awakening, once I got access to all my skills, which is at level 65 for me, because I have the contract, but after I had access to everything, I feel like I like the class enough to get it to the max level. So, let me just explain how this class works. At the bottom left is a hit end system, it's called. It's basically like contact points that will allow you to basically do additional effects onto your skills and increases your damage depending on how many stacks you have. I think it's like, you know, 40% extra damage here. Don't quote me on that. It's probably something higher. But, you know, you get extra damage by having more points. And you use up those points to do extra hit ends like this, like attacks at the end of your skills like this. And you can build them up by canceling any of your basic attack into your skills, any of them, or almost any of them. So right here you can see I canceled it into the chainsaw right there. I got a contact point. It's actually really easy to build up the contact points after the first awakening, so that's what I did. And that's kind of why I feel like maybe this class really is kind of terrible up until that point, just because it's just not very strong, honestly. So, and not having access to all your skills like the Aslant Spiral, which is probably your highest damage skill, this one right here, and stuff like that. So the first awakening is also pretty good, but I like using it against the boss. So yeah, guys, I did not think I would like this class very much, just because I didn't think its damage is very high, and it really is a case of you need a good weapon. I think that's what happened when I was leveling this class early on, up until level 50. I didn't have any rental weapons or anything, but now I'm using a rental weapon, so you know, I get a really good level 80 weapon, and it's also +7 and refined and all that, and all of a sudden it just become a lot easier. So this is one of those classes where I wouldn't recommend as your first class if you really like rogue or assassin type characters, but maybe if you are geared enough to get a weapon and stuff, then you start considering I would say, you know, maybe not the best first class in the game, but a viable second class if you're ready to gear them out a little bit. So, you know, it's just not going to be possible to just use standard stuff and just be decimating like I am right now. But talking a little bit about the playstyle of the class, like I said, this is the class that I'm going to be leveling to max next. I kind of choose them. I keep them at 50 and then I choose, okay, which one's next. So I've been leveling pretty handedly for a while now, like haven't missed a day and stuff. And I gotta say, I've kind of gotten a feel of how this class plays. I am not using grabs on this class, this class is really grab focused. Right there was Excel Strike. I have that skill level 1, and I hardly ever use it because I kind of want to play this class like a real assassin, you know, somebody who does a bunch of strike skills. So she's dashing around everybody, everywhere. I got like all of my striking skills maxed, even though you probably wouldn't normally. Like the kunai throw and the chainsaw are actually pretty weak in terms of skills to level up, but if I didn't dump points into there, I would have to dump them into like my grabs, like Excel Strike and the Sonic Assault, which I don't like using because they're just grabs, and I don't like. I want to use some strike skills. Okay, so I don't care which is the more you know, optimal build. That's the way I'm gonna go. But guys, we're gonna go into our first awakening here. I got canceled. No, I got canceled out of my first awakening, man. Fucking Varrock. But that's fine. We'll do it next dungeon. But the way I play this class, guys, is that I focus a lot on, obviously, racking up the hit ends, but I don't actually use the hit end for anything more than the bandit cut. I think it's the only one I really use the hit end on. The reason I don't use the hit end on something like the hurricane and stuff is because it knocks him down, and that's really the key about this class, I feel like, is that she specializes, more so than most any other class I can really think of, is that she specializes on keeping enemies standing on their feet. So, you know, she really only has a couple skills that will cause knockdown. This vertical spiral, which does a lot of damage, and the Aslant Spiral also does a lot of damage. But the key is you want to try to keep your combos standing, or your combos going, by keeping the enemy standing. So you can do things like Chain Rush, you can do things like the Shining Cut, you can do things also like the Blade Dance, which I really enjoy on the Dagger Assassin, Bandit Cut, and the EX, or the hit end on it. All of these skills will keep your enemy standing. This Chainsaw Rush right there well, is like a spiral that keeps enemies standing. I mean, most all of the skills on my hotkey bar right now are combo skills that can keep the enemies standing. So hopefully I can show that off a little bit better. I'll also turn on my First Awakening. Hopefully I don't get interrupted next time, but that's what this class specializes in, is keeping enemies standing so that you can keep them combo and standing combo. So even the Hurricane skill right here, which it looks like a cube skill that would cause knockdown, it doesn't. It's a massive damage skill, not even a cube skill, honestly. This skill right there, I love that one, the bandit cut into hit end. Hurricane, a lot of damage, doesn't even cause knockdown, so that's kind of the gimmick, guys. So you want to try to avoid knocking down. You don't really want to use that. You don't want to use the launch or anything like that. You just want to try to keep them standing. And if you have to knock them down, hit them with something hard like the Aslan Spiral. Bam! So it's gonna one-shot them anyway. I picked up the vertical spiral as well, and I think that does some pretty decent damage. So right here is the blade dancing. Get 2 hits of the chain rush. Hurricane again. Like I said, he's still standing. He's still standing. He's still standing. Oh gosh. Let's get us some blade dancing in. So the Awakening basically changes your basic attack to this. It also, I'm not really sure since I have it. I don't, you know me, I don't even read any skills, but I'm pretty sure it just generates, it doesn't use up your hit end as often. For instance, I can use the blade dancing, I believe, for like ever. I just keep spamming it, I guess, if I keep hitting him with it, but it keeps it really, it keeps your hit end up a lot, very often. So it also amplifies your damage significantly, so you can just keep comboing right there. I just killed Kong Kong in like 1 hit. I'm pretty sure it just amplifies your damage pretty tremendously. Like right now, I can keep blade dancing like all day with this, with the First Awakening on. So, but yeah, guys, that's how this class really plays. Like I said, there's the last hit of the Awakening. It's kind of like a buff that, you know, after the end of the duration, it will cast that grab at the end. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much how I'm playing my rogue. Like I said, I'm doing like a strike rogue. I'm not doing any kind of grabs and stuff like that. I know this Excel strike is really good skill, but yeah, whatever. It will cost me like tons of SP, or yeah, SP, and I'm just gonna keep doing this. So here's some vertical spiral. Good room to use it in. Does a lot of damage right there. You can also use there's a lot of skills right now that can use like final attacks on their like their animations, like the bandit cut. So you got to kind of test around. Like the vertical spiral can either go like that all the way across it, but if you hit the Z key or if you hit the skill key again, it will actually you know, do a final hit that does most of the damage. Your Shining Cut has 3 activations. You can activate it 3 or 4 times depending on which weapon you have. And so there's some things you're gonna have to test out, you know, if it looks like I'm doing something that you haven't seen before or something, I don't know. Just try to hit the skill key again or hit the Z key, so get that bandit cut going. This class also does well at evasives right there. You just saw I use a sidestep evasive. They have that's on really low cooldown, this sidestep evasive, which harkens back to when I used to play Dark Blood Online. Every class had that type of evasive, so you can get off on the Y-axis, which is usually a hard thing to do. You also have, if you get comboed, you also have an evasive to get out of combo, like at any juggle combo. So one of the first classes that I've played that actually has that type of system. Usually I have super armor, or, you know, most classes don't actually have that kind of evasive system, so this class can do that. Finally, one thing I didn't mention is that depending on what weapon you have, this class can actually go a couple different ways. You can either go the twin sword route, or you can go the dagger route, which I believe I'm going to go the dagger route. But the dagger masteries, you'd have to read it because there's tons of different effects that depend on which weapon that you're actually using. If you use the twin sword, for instance, you'd be able to charge up some skills that you normally wouldn't be able to, like this one has a charge up if you're using twin swords. You don't get as many dash attacks if you are using twin swords on the Shining Cut, stuff like that. So just read up on that. Maybe you want to charge up a certain skill and you don't know if your weapon can do it or not. So just know that the weapon is important in determining which skills are affected, and it's pretty in depth. So I'm not gonna sit here. I don't even know them all, honestly. So ooh, hit him with the final attack of that. Now I'm actually gonna okay. I wanted to keep comboing him before he got into a sandstorm here, but he's about to die right now. Like I said, you're really powerful in this First Awakening here. I'm just gonna use the blade dancing all day, baby. Ooh, into the bandit cut, into the hurricane, baby. And launching. But anyway, guys, there was a little bit of rogue action, and hopefully I was able to explain in this first video here kind of how the rogue works. I've gotten a bit of experience. I'm not going to say I'm even any good at it, but I really like playing it. It's not as bad as I thought it would. That's the point I wanted to get across, is that I thought it was going to be really, really weak and not very strong. But once you got the weapons, you actually the hit end is a skill that scales so well per contact point. I think this is attack per contact point, so I'm getting a ton of attack damage. This is a very potent button, 520%, very potent buff to your damage. So every time you get stronger gear, you're going to be amplifying it just because of the fact you have the hit end. So that's why I mentioned this is one of those classes that will require you get some good gear to start doing some kind of damage like this. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. There was a little bit of rogue action. In the next video, I don't know, I have like 10 videos, so I don't know what order we're going to be going, but yeah, just expect a lot of different kind of gameplay as I'm leveling up these characters. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you knights later.